a national security threat. The agency may also require companies to remove equipment made by those manufacturers that is already in place. Wall Street opens this morning with investors still wondering if we'll see a U.S.-China trade deal. Bill Stone at Avalon Advisors says for now, investors will wait and worry.
I do think that's one of the bigger, risks out there is that falls apart. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen.
For now, Stone says it's a coin flip. Trading starts with the major averages modestly lower for the week. The University of Michigan has its monthly update this morning on consumer sentiment. Foot Locker and J.M. Smucker report quarterly earnings. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
The Bloomberg Business of Sports podcast. How did the Yankees become this mega valuable team? Where the money is flowing inside sports around the globe.
From the marketing perspective, where are the dollars spent?
From union heads to team owners, Scott Sushnick and Michael Barr speak to the names that power this multi-billion-dollar industry. Boston Red Sox CEO Sam Kennedy.
National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman.
Bloomberg Business of Sports. Listen today on Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
No company wants to be involved in an international dispute. But when disagreements arise, you need expertise at your side. Take a closer look at ICDR, the International Center for Dispute Resolution. Backed by the longevity and strength of the American Arbitration Association, the ICDR is the world's leading provider of cross-border dispute resolution services, handling more cases than any other institution. Find out why global expertise matters. Visit ICDR.org. Why?
It's hard to find a children's gift which doesn't have a short shelf life. They'll eat all the chocolates in 5 minutes, finish their video games by the end of the week, and grow out of their trainers before you know it. So instead of buying them something just for Christmas, buy them something that's for life. Premium bonds from NS&I. Every month they'll have the chance to win cash prizes. And now you can buy premium bonds for any child. Start their savings journey from just £25. Search Gift Premium Bonds to find out more.
At Lidl, we're big on those little reasons to be jolly. Like our delicious Favorina all-butter mini Stollen Bites for just $1.99. And 6 deluxe mince pies for just $1.35. Big on a Christmas you can believe in. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability, selected stores excludes an eye.
If you're planning on driving this weekend, expect delays on the A406 North Circular Road. There'll be road closures between Tottenham and Edmonton from 10 p.m. on Friday the 22nd of November to 5 a.m. on Monday the 25th of November, while we carry out essential maintenance and repairs. All roads in the surrounding area will be extremely busy, so please allow more time for your journey and expect delays in the area. Plan ahead and check alternative routes at tfl.gov.uk. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
Christmas is such a magical time of year for little ones. But why should the big kids miss out? This season, take the family to Santa's Wonderlab at West London Audi. You get to test drive the latest Audi models, and the children get to test drive the latest toys with Santa. There's something for the whole family. Visit santaswonderlab.com to find out more about how to register for your place at Santa's Wonderlab this Christmas.
The world is a noisy place, but whether I'm here or here, my phone calls are always loud and clear on my Doro 6620. Hi, love. Yes, I can hear you perfectly. I'm 10 minutes away. Get your Doro 6620 from Amazon, Tesco, and O2 today.
Should we go halves?
I'll get this. Let me just get my card, which was in my pocket.
You can't control awkward first dates. But if you temporarily misplace your debit card, you can freeze and unfreeze it on our mobile banking app. Feel in control every day. Lloyds Bank, by your side. You can only freeze some transaction types. T's and C's apply.
Christine Lagarde, ECB President, speaking at the European Banking Congress in Frankfurt. You're listening to Bloomberg Daybreak Europe. Let's listen in to Christine Lagarde.
I'm sure that it's the first of many. Every moment is a fresh beginning. T.S. Eliot said that. And I can assure you that that's how it feels for me at the moment. But in many respects, that's also how it feels about Europe. And this theme, your theme, of this year's program is very timely. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking. We heard that before. Europe is at a crossroad. This is an inflection point. This is a European moment. And it didn't always happen. But it very much feels that way at the moment. Just consider it. And you start with the people of Europe. The turnout at the last European election was the best in decades. A new commission led by a woman, a German woman, with quasi-parity in the commissioner's composition, is about to begin its term with an agenda to strengthen Europe in areas like environmental policies, digitalization and defense. Discussions, as you have mentioned, quoting my friend Minister Scholz, are reawakening and moving towards completing the banking union and building a capital market union. Now this could be sort of business as usual, but it's critically important because around us, the world doesn't stand still. In recent years, the global environment has changed in multiple ways that we would not have imagined. We have seen the post-war global order fracturing. We have seen the rise of new and some old powers. We have seen rapid changes in technologies, and we certainly have seen an uncertain outlook for global trade and finance. Uncertainty abounds, and conventional wisdom is being challenged in politics, in diplomacy, and in economics. And unavoidably, this calls on Europe to consider its place in the world and to reset its ambitions. Now, I'm no longer a politician. Quite pleased about that, actually. So I would like to address those issues from an economic point of view. And I will focus on that dimension. How can Europe best position itself in this global economy? I will look at the key challenges, the benefits to be drawn from this new ambition, and then, of course, I'll dig into policies. Not in a very substantive way yet, but I will touch on it. So in my view, the challenge is prompted by two major challenges in the global economy today that are multifaceted. The first relates to the changing nature of global trade, which has multiple causes. Ongoing trade tensions and geopolitical uncertainties are contributing to a global slowdown of growth, and particularly of trade growth, which has more than halved since last year. We're seeing little trepidation as we speak, but really not much to write home about. And this has in turn depressed global growth to its lowest level since the great financial crisis. Forecasts vary between 2.9%, 3%, but this is definitely the lowest we've seen in decades. And these uncertainties have proven much more persistent than expected, and it is clearly having an impact in the euro area. Growth is expected to be at 1.1% this year, which is much lower than what we had forecasted back in September. At the same time, there are also changes of a more structural nature that are also related to the change in trade. We're starting to see a global shift, mainly driven by emerging market economy, from manufacturing to services. Those of you who operate in China know that. In parallel, the world trade is being reordered as new technologies disrupt conventional supply chain and workforce organization, and as potential new significant risks emerge from climate change. And all this obviously has implications for our external sector, not least because the euro area exports are intense in capital and intermediate goods. It suggests that, one, Europe needs to innovate and invest to respond to these challenges and preserve its competitiveness in the longer run. But it also suggests that the high rate of trade growth that we were used to is much more uncertain and certainly cannot be relied on. That's the challenge resulting and about major change in global trade. The second challenge relates to domestic growth in advanced economies. Advanced economies are in the midst of a long-term deceleration of growth rates, which have roughly halved since the late 80s. And this is reflected in the long-term decline of global interest rates. As growth rates are a fundamental driver of interest rates, even those countries that have tried to raise interest rates have gradually lowered them again. So why is that? Well, there's a two-side story to that slow